He was told to turn back. The mission was over. But one pilot decided the war wasn't. With fuel gauges dangerously low and the radios buzzing with urgent orders to retreat, he felt an unshakable pull to push forward, defying authority to confront fate. Disobedience meant court-martial, perhaps death. Yet what unfolded next was nothing short of legendary. With courage fueling him, he unleashed a fury that devastated nearly an entire Japanese airbase in mere minutes. The roar of engines and explosive gunfire punctuated disbelief, leaving us to wonder, what drives a pilot to choose honor over order? In the blistering sun of the Pacific Theater, Lieutenant John Harper adjusted his leather flight helmet, eyes scanning the room filled with familiar faces. He was part of the 346th Fighter Squadron, flying the sleek P-38 Lightning, a testament to both engineering and resilience. Their squadron had suffered debilitating losses recently, friends who had gone on missions and never returned. The haunting echoes of their absence loomed over the briefing room like a dark cloud. As the captain detailed the day's mission, tension pricked at the edges of Harper's resolve. "Orders are clear. Engage nothing. Return with intel," he reminded himself, feeling a weight in his chest. The task was to conduct reconnaissance over enemy territory, information gathering, not combat. "Stay sharp out there, gentlemen. The skies are still unforgiving," the captain urged, his voice steady yet tinged with an unspoken fear. John exchanged concerned glances with his wingman, both acutely aware that in war even the simplest missions could turn into nightmares. As the squadron descended through the clouds, the verdant landscape gave way to a wide expanse of the ocean, then the faint outline of land beyond. The cockpits buzzed with the tension of the unknown. What awaited them below had a sinister allure. Suddenly, a glint caught the pilot's eye. An airfield sprawled out like a predator poised to strike. Dozens of Japanese planes parked neatly in formation, their sleek canopies reflecting the sun's harsh glare. Through the crackling radio, command's voice cut through the silence like a knife. "Do not engage." But the command felt almost hollow. Gazing at the aircraft, engines cold, he couldn't shake the haunting images of fallen comrades. American bombers reduced to smoldering wrecks, their fiery deaths echoing his thoughts. His wingman's voice, heavy with urgency, broke through his reverie. "Stay sharp, buddy. They've got anti-aircraft guns hidden all around." The pilot's heart raced, a mix of adrenaline and dread flooding his veins. The stakes were high, and the reality of their situation loomed large, like the dark clouds gathering on the horizon. He chanced a glance at his wingman, their eyes meeting for a brief moment, a silent acknowledgement of the shared danger they faced. As they approached the airfield, the descent felt agonizingly slow, like time itself was teasing them. The plains below seemed to beckon with insidious charm, promising glory, but cloaked in peril. Every inch closer heightened the tension, turning the air thick with anticipation. The sun played tricks on their senses, reflecting off metal canopies, creating an illusion of serenity that masked the imminent violence. His fingers instinctively found the trigger, sweat beading on his brow. It was just a squeeze away, but there was a weight to that decision that could alter everything. He hesitated, heart pounding in rhythm with the ticking clock of fate. In that suspended moment, would he fight for retribution or adhere to orders that felt increasingly irrelevant against the backdrop of history? The sun gleamed off the targets below, and with every breath, he wrestled with the choice that lay before him, caught between loyalty to command and the desire for justice. The roar of the engine pierced through the thick, smoky air as he tightened his grip on the controls, eyes locked on the target below. In that moment, time slowed to a crawl. Dropping into a lethal dive, the world around him blurred into a swirl of colors, the chaotic cacophony of warfare fading into silence. As he plummeted, he felt the weight of anticipation and adrenaline coil tightly in his gut. The first crack of his .50 caliber rounds echoed like thunder, shattering the stillness of his singular focus. Tracer rounds screamed past him, bright streaks of light cutting through the air. illuminated pulses slicing through the morning haze. With each pull of the trigger, he felt a rush, a surge of purpose, as the bullets tore through wings and fuel tanks, ripping apart the very fabric of the enemy's defenses. Explosions erupted in sync, a dance of destruction blossoming like flowers of fire lining the runway, each blast resonating like dominoes falling in succession. He couldn't help but smirk at the chaos he'd unleashed. Each plane crumpling under the weight of unchecked aggression was a testament to the risk he was willing to take. This wasn't just a mission, it was personal, a vendetta against a foe that threatened everything he held dear. Looping back for another pass, he flew lower this time, skimming so close to the ground that he could almost feel the grass brush his propeller's blades. The vibration shot through the airframe, shaking him with a thrill as he re-entered the fray, transforming danger into a twisted game of skill and instinct. The flak bursts overhead ratcheted up the tension, dark puffs exploding against the blue sky, warning shots from enemy guns that dared to challenge his audacity. They wanted to bring him down, but he was on a mission that felt ordained, as if fate itself had whispered in his ear. With every sweep, he decimated another row, one after another, about 40 planes in under 5 minutes, reduced to twisted metal and smouldering dreams. It was a violence he didn't take lightly, but in his heart he felt a fierce, unyielding resolve. Yet amidst the exhilaration surged an underlying dread. His fuel light blinked ominously, each flicker a reminder of the ticking clock that dictated his survival. He was running on borrowed time, and as the radio crackled with silence, an uneasy absence where commands should have filled the air, he realized he was truly alone in this fight. After another dive, his heart raced faster than the aircraft itself, the ground rushing up to meet him as he prepared for yet another onslaught against the enemy. In that stark moment, the world blurred into shades of grey, and the thrill of destruction coalesced into a singular thought. This was against every rule, and he wouldn't change a thing. Amid the chaos that had erupted just moments earlier, he clambered out of the cockpit, his heart pounding like a war drum. The adrenaline that fueled him was fading fast, leaving behind a bitter cocktail of exhaustion and dread. His ammo was nearly depleted, each spent round a reminder of the confrontation that had just unfolded. To make matters worse, the fuel gauge flickered ominously. He was running on fumes, a haunting metaphor for his own spirit. Silence enveloped him as he surveyed the desolation. His squadron was gone, mere shadows of men who had followed orders to the letter. The air was thick with what he couldn't shake off: guilt. They had done their jobs, and now he was a lone wolf returning home. Just as doubt began to creep in, the radio crackled to life, slicing through the stillness with a sharp inquiry. "What the hell did you just do?" He gripped the controls, his knuckles white, the question reverberating in his mind like a haunting melody. Home felt miles away, and with each minute spent alone in that cockpit, he wrestled with his own tumultuous thoughts. Was he a hero for taking a stand, or merely a dead man walking, marked by insubordination? As he descended from the clouds, the landscape of his base unfurled below him. The ground crews standing by the runway began to cheer as he touched down, a wave of relief washing over them. But as he exited the aircraft, the praise faded against the icy glare of his commander, stone-faced and unyielding. He felt the heavy weight of their conflicting emotions. Celebration and condemnation intertwined, the line between courage and insubordination dangerously blurred. In that moment, he understood how fleeting victory could feel when honor and duty clash in the heart of a soldier. The interrogation room felt colder than the steel chair he was seated in. The officer leaned forward, a stern gaze fixed on him. "You directly disobeyed orders," he said, the accusation hanging heavy in the air. His mind raced back to the moment when instinct had overridden protocol. The chaos of the battle, the adrenaline surging through him, it had all culminated in an unprecedented maneuver that, against all odds, annihilated 40 enemy planes that day. Reports began flooding in. Command couldn't brush aside the fact that a sector of enemy air power had been effectively crippled. Was it sheer luck, an act of genius, or perhaps the result of reckless madness? The debate buzzed through the ranks, leaving a wake of speculation about the true nature of his actions. In military circles, such acts were often buried, hidden deep to avoid setting dangerous precedents. Unruly bravado could spark a cascade of future insubordination. Yet curiosity lingered in the air. Some whispered of a quiet promotion in the months that followed, a signal of tacit approval perhaps. Others claimed he faced reprimand, but was later honored unofficially, receiving accolades behind closed doors for a bold move that redefined air strategy. Ultimately, it leaves us wondering, was he a hero or a rogue? The lines blurred, as they often do in the language of war. In a single audacious strike, one man's action reshaped the air struggle in the Pacific. With the Japanese airfield temporarily neutralized, Allied bombers soared unhindered in subsequent raids, delivering devastating blows to enemy positions. This moment marked a pivotal shift where cautious discipline gave way to bold aggression and air dominance. As American pilots reveled in their newfound freedom, their morale shot through the roof. Examining mission photos and engagement maps, we can see the ripple effect of this lone wolf strike, similar to iconic moments in history where a single act ignited a larger movement. The air war was no longer just about survival. It became about seizing and maintaining control. As the story of our pilot faded into legend, it became clear that history often glosses over the messy truths of bravery. Official records speak of destruction, yet they miss a crucial detail: the defiance that sparked it. Veterans still recount the fearless grin that lit up his face when they asked about regrets. They can court-martial me later. This reveals a profound moral paradox. In the chaos of war, victory sometimes only arises from breaking the very rules designed to maintain order. As archival footage rolls, smiling mechanics, charred airfields, and medals belatedly awarded, we're reminded that sometimes legacy is defined not by obedience, but by the courage to rebel.